Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself, Carol Parisi, have Jodi Carroll with VoteFacts, from VoteFacts, the founder of VoteFacts, with us today. Jodi, what is your website so our listeners can maybe even go on their computer while they're listening to the show?
Well, it's votefacts.org, just so you know what to put after that. It's votefacts.org.
And how's facts? F-A-C?
F-A-C-T-S.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just like fact or fiction. And in fact, fact or fiction is one of the sections on the website. I started VoteFacts in the fall, and it really is the culmination of a very rude awakening that I've had in my own life, where I started to hear things in the media where I had a foundation of knowledge on things during the healthcare debate, for example. I was a registered nurse. I'm a stay-at-home mom now, and trying to get VoteFacts out there. But
some very major problems in life that you had to solve there.
Well, yeah, I was a very. I'm a very big proponent of fixing what is broken in our healthcare system. So I was very much, from somebody in healthcare, I was really looking forward to healthcare reform, to the debates, and what I abruptly and painfully learned is that I knew things, and I'm watching the media fail to report things that I knew, and report things that were clearly untrue. I'll give you one. Actually, I shouldn't say untrue, but misleading. I'll give you one of those examples, was the World Health Organization study, which was repeatedly touted as, we were ranked number 37, our healthcare system was ranked number 37 in quality. But if you look at the actual World Health Organization study, they had 5 separate categories of things that they studied. Only one of those categories even hinted at the actual quality of the healthcare that was being delivered, and the United States was ranked number 1. But so I'm watching this and I'm thinking, this is very misleading.
It's massaging and manipulating a message.
I was very distressed by this, and I was watching people that I had lifelong trusted in the media, and I'm thinking, but this is not right, because I'm trying to get educated and I feel like you're misinforming me. And so these kinds of things were happening, and I really was distressed and disheartened, really sad about it, quite frankly, because these were people I trusted for so long. And it drove me into this very heavy research mode. I was up day and night. I was, the more I learned that I didn't know, the more distressed I became. And this ball kept rolling and rolling, and I kept watching. Now a year after that process began, now I know even more, and now I'm watching it get worse for me, where, well, what do you mean you're saying this, but not this and this? This matters to someone's opinion.
Is it getting worse for you, or are you even getting more enlightened and see what you originally sought for this journey to be even more truth?
Well,
the truth is becoming more profound to what you're...
My distress was that, I feel for the American voter who is like me, and I just want the facts, and I just want the truth, and I want to be able to process that information and reach my conclusions based on a solid set of facts. And honestly, I don't care where they come from. I don't care if they come from a Republican or a Democrat or conservative or liberal. I just want truth.
The truth has no agenda. This is what I want. The truth has no agenda.
And so as I watched this not really happening, and one night, I don't know if you ever follow politifact.com, I was following it, and I would see things that were really misleading. And some of their facts were just completely skewed. And one night I was reading some of their stuff, and they had reported on a statement. The statement was, American workers pay 15% in payroll taxes, and they said, oh, that's false. Okay, well, skip a month later, maybe it was a month earlier, they checked something else on taxes by somebody on a different political side, and in that one they said, oh, yeah, they do pay 15% in payroll taxes. Now, they needed to say that to give a truth rating to this. So they were completely giving 2 different truth statements on some facts. And I didn't sleep that night. And so that morning I woke up, or I was downstairs, my husband woke up, he came downstairs, and I said, I have to do this website. Because I'd been talking about it. People have to have access to facts. We can't even trust the fact checkers.
Now let me ask you something. You are giving facts. What separates you from some of these other facts? I mean, why do you have all the truth? And
Sure. Okay, let's just say I don't have all the truths, and I'm not trying to give you truths. I'm not trying to share my opinion. I'm not trying to make people have an opinion. It's not about my ideology. It's about what the facts do with yours.
Where do you get these facts from?
Okay, so the facts are from all of the reports that tend to be bantered about, and both sides give different pieces of it, but from the Congressional Budget Office, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the actual analyses of the health care bill, for example, or health care, the U.S. Census Bureau. There's a wealth of information in there that I had no idea how informative that stuff is, the Office of Budget and Management. You have to be very careful, because just because you're going to the Office of Budget and Management doesn't mean you're getting truth, and it doesn't mean you're not getting spin.
That's right.
So I will absolutely say, even within those reports, with the exception of the Congressional Budget Office, you have to be careful. But the Office of Budget and Management, for example, gives a report out every year, and it's a really good report, and it's historical. It goes way back, and you'll see some of this on votefacts.org, so that you can actually gather information that goes back to 1903, for example. I mean, this is stuff where, if we're going to talk about what do we need to do here and now with these problems, we certainly need to have an idea and understanding of where we've been. Mm-hmm. And I lacked that. I'll tell you right now, I lacked that. So when you lack that, what do? You look for somebody to fill that intellectual hole for you. And so that's where our media and our politicians have kind of hijacked our opinions, if you ask me, because we haven't been.
Very true.
We haven't been. We seem to be believing that our education happens to us, not by us. And I'm going to work very hard to remind people that the opposite is true. Your education happens by you, not to you. And for me, part of my painful awakening was realizing that, I really blindly trusted people in one of the most important jobs I have in my nation, which is being an educated voter. Because being an educated voter impacts not just my life, but everyone around me. And here I kind of handed it over to someone else. I handed it over to the media. I handed it over to politicians, and I said, tell me what I need to know so I can be an educated voter. That's never going to work.
They don't want the truth.
That's never going to work, particularly in a dramatically polarized nation that we are.
Now, I have a question for you, because you're a mom, and I know you have two children, correct?
I have 3.
You have 3. As a mother, do you not appreciate your children asking, you give them a directive?
Sure.
Do you not appreciate them asking you, why? Why, Mommy? You tell me to do this. Why? Respectfully and not belligerently, of course. Isn't that something?
The seeking of answers.
The seeking of answers.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's intrinsic. As a mom, my little guy, every little thing was, Mom, why? Do you think the voter asks why, when they go vote, why am I voting for this person? Or how does this legislation match up with my beliefs and how I visualize this America to be?
Well, you know what? I can't speak for the average voter. I can speak from my experience, and I can tell you no, for me. Back then, I was not I shouldn't say that. I was always willing to process facts. I was always actually wanting to process facts. Mm-hmm. That was important to me. The problem was, because I wasn't not asking why. I was asking why, but I was believing that what I was getting was the answer. And so when you stop at that, when you ask why and somebody gives you the answer and you don't dig into it, well, is that true? Is there something else I need to know? When you take that little tidbit and that's it, I'm done, I'm informed, then that's where I'm trying to say, let's remind people to get more involved in their political education process, and to understand that, you know what, your answers, whatever your ideology or whatever it's going to be, your answers aren't there in the media talking points and the politician talking points. Your answers have to be found by you doing the work of looking at the actual documents, the actual stuff.
You know what, we're going to be going to break here really soon. Before we go to break, though, I want you to think what 3 things, fact-wise, is the most harmful to America and Illinois in today's political cycle. And I know that Jack has very specific things for right here in Illinois. And how do we bring this conversation to make change for November?
Well, you know, you've got to judge your source. Means you got to judge them over a period of time, and you find out are the things they're saying at that source, do they really lead to the truth in the actual test of life?